Let's go into some college football. Let's lead it off with our fun question. We've done this the last few episodes. People have enjoyed it. The question of the day. And today I'm going to lead off with the first one. There are two different versions, and I like this question. Here we go. In the next 10 years, would you rather have, as a college football fan for your team, option 1, 6 losing seasons, 3 toss-up seasons where you don't really know what happens, and a guaranteed 1 national title? Or would you rather have all winning seasons of those 10 years, some conference titles, 10 win seasons are constant throughout that, but no national championship? JP.
I'm going to take the winning seasons. Losing's hard, man. Losing's hard. You're going to get 1, and then you're going to have, how many was it exactly? Losing seasons in a row? And I'm going to assume these
I just said
1 national title, 6 losing seasons, and 3 which could be up in the air. They could be winning, they could be losing, but they're not going to be a national title.
In that 10 years, you're guaranteed 6 losing seasons.
So we're saying 5 and 7, not even like 6 gets you to it. Like 6 and 6, you're not going to.
Nope. 5 and 7, 4 and 8,
5 and
3 and
no
9.
bowl game losing season.
God, are those hard?
Kind of like Florida State if they won the national title last year.
I mean, it completely depends on what you're giving me in the 3 years. Like if you're giving me 8 and 4s, 7 and 5s, I'd probably take the title. But if you're rolling the dice and it's a little bit of both, losing's hard, man, in this sport, and it takes a toll. That's a lot to handle.
But I'm
trying to think like how good that national title night would be.
Yeah, you can.
With, like
you
me,
can
my friends, my family, and like all
the
that.
National championship.
You can, but then you could eat it for 10 years straight.
But
so are you going other side, Jake? That's what it sounds like.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, how many teams can say they've won the national title, JP? Like, it's not college basketball where you get hot in the tournament and you win. Losing seasons on top of basketball makes it for a long winter. I know losing sucks and nobody loves it, but you can claim that you've won a national. I mean, how many? There's been like, 5 teams that have won the national championship the last 10 years? Like, it's very rare in college football, at least kind of this day and age, where we had a couple of dynasties here and there. No, but I agree with JP. I'm taking the numerous 10-win seasons. Just like I would think never won a Big 12 championship anyway. So of course I would take numerous conference championships. That's assuming they're going to be in this new playoff anyways, and they got a shot to win the national title. I'll always end up with my hopes and dreams broken, but at least they make the college football playoff multiple times for what the scenario is giving us.
I understand it's a 10-year timeline. So I had to keep, that in my thoughts. It's 10 years. Hopefully I'll be alive for more than that. But I'll take the guaranteed. You may never see one. Yeah, I've seen winning seasons. You may never see one before you die. Odds are high that you probably will.
I know. I go to bed at night knowing I'll never see Iowa State win a national championship. But you
never know. You never know, Jake. That's what keeps you up on every Saturday. You never know. It could be that one time that the stars align. They don't even got to go undefeated or win only. They don't even have to do that anymore, especially going forward with our next topic. So you never know. But I'm taking the 1. I just did a decade of losing seasons, boys. You guys know that.
Didn't you live this, though? 1 national title, a lot of losing seasons pretty soon after.
Parks never seen
we did 5 national titles.
No, but like the fan base.
They did 5 national titles, so it was a little different. But yeah.
5 in like 30 years, not like 5.
Okay, sorry. 3 in 6 years.
That's my point. So you could take it from that last one until now.
I still think I would say 99.9% of Nebraska fans and GA. I know you're in here. Shout out GA AWL. You're taking the national title, right? 6 losing seasons, the guaranteed national title. Because seeing one in your lifetime is more useful than seeing a 10-win season. We've all seen that. Every one of us in this chat's already seen that.
Is this Auburn?
But it's multiple though. It's like this is the multiple 10-win seasons like puts you in the conversation of like legitimate programs in college football. Like you kind of play with the big boys. Like you probably recruit at a decent level. You're competing for conference championships year after year. Like you are in that conversation. You have that respect from most of the college football fan base. Now, on the other side, you could be seen as like Penn State, where like you're a perennial power, but like you're also a choke. You kind of play that card too as well if you took that side.
Is this kind of Michigan too, JP? I know you said one that makes way more sense, more clear, but like Michigan was
Yes, this
not
is also
good.
Michigan. I would agree. Yeah.
So, I mean, and they're still viewed as a perennial power. I guess that's kind of more based off your history, right, Jake? Like, I feel like it'd be very hard, especially if they get
you
one.
guys, but you mentioned that. You mentioned Michigan had a down year, but like, guys, we're talking like numerous bad seasons on top
No,
of it.
I'm
Like,
saying they are the before the 2024 national title. They were the
oh
you
yeah,
know
sure, okay,
we go
yeah,
grab 10 every once in a while, most of the years.
yeah,
9 or
okay,
10, and then every
But
once
they
in a
were
while we're
really
6.
bad in some of those Brady
right.
Hoke
Yeah.
years, like really bad.
I
So
thought
they,
I like the next. I thought of this one. I added this second question today. I thought this one was actually better than the one we just talked about. If we want to get into that one,
okay. Let's you read us the second question.
You're gonna have to
We all
say
seen
it,
them.
read it out loud.
yeah. So the second one, same kind of. Would you rather? Would you rather lose to your rival 10 straight years, but in that 10 years, again, you get a national championship, or beat your rival for 10 straight years with no national championship? In those 10 years, though, like, you can play the card. Like, Iowa State, if we have Matt Campbell around, we're probably going to have majority winning seasons. Like, it's no guarantee. Those are, everything else is up in the air, but you just know that you're going to go 1-0 against your most hated rival every single year for 10 years straight.
Well, Iowa's got 4 of them, so
Yeah, that's the problem. You got to go. I'd say Iowa, Iowa State. You got to align there.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say Iowa, Nebraska to the alignment for Nebraska.
I say Iowa's got 4 of them, so I'm 3-1 in trophy games every year. I might. Yeah, I think I know what I'm doing here.
Okay. Well, do you really? But you don't have the same hatred for Wisconsin and Minnesota as you do Iowa State. Don't even like.
No, but I do hate them quite a bit, and those are still
I
big
do too.
deals.
It's like Kansas State for me, Colorado for Parks. Like, yeah, we hate them, but like, we don't really know anybody personally that.
I think in that situation, I take the title because that makes you. This is 2002 Hawks here.
Yes,
like that if they win one, because this is I'm going to go 11-1 and win a national title. This doesn't mean I'm going to have, like
it's basically Ohio State
all.
this year. It's basically, but you're doing it for 10 straight years, and you only won one natty.
Yeah, but we wouldn't fire a guy for that.
There's a side note here, gentlemen. It's 1-0 against your rival. What about the other games? What if you go 1-12, 1-11,
but
you don't win the national title? But you
could
won
also
that
go
game.
11-1 and lose it. That's the one loss.
That one game isn't enough for me to give up a national title. I don't give a shit if I lose one game if I win a national title.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd feel that bad if I'm Ohio State. Like, I get it.
No, no. Hang the banner, Michigan.
That's fine. Sounds like a great time to me too, guys. Like, I'll take the ring.
Yeah, and that's the side I would go on too with Ohio State. Man, they're literally living this right now. Like, Michigan will never let them live that down. But at the end of the day, which side would you rather be on? Would you rather be on the Michigan side, or would you rather be on the Ohio State side? Like, yeah, sure, you beat us, and nobody, we were a 20-point favorite, and now we're a national title, so national champion. I don't think it's a no-brainer. Take the national title.
If all they can say to you is that, like, can't beat us, and they're going 6-6, 5-7, 8-4, 10-2, and not winning a national title. And now, if they win one somewhere in there, then we're gonna have to talk, right? But we're going to assume that they aren't in this situation. You got us. That's cool. Awesome. Have a good time, pal. Good job. Like your little brother got you in Pig one day. That kind of thing.
It's a fair place to put it. I think that's a good one. But that was a good question. I had to think more of that one because you got to think of the rival that hate. You got to fit that narrative to whatever rival you hate the most. Because like JP said,
you didn't ask me.
Iowa has 4.
I think I'd take the 10 straight against Iowa.
That is just the pinnacle of a poverty program history.
I was going to say, if your reason is because you'll never see a national title, and you're just like, yeah, I know it. Wouldn't you want it? Like, wouldn't you want it more rather than being like, I would just take the 10 against this guy in
hypothetically? I guess.
Do you get your rocks off on national titles or beating Iowa? And then we can go into is this your Super Bowl conversation once you answer it the way I know you're going to.
It's well, it's a bad hypothetical because honestly, Iowa State beating Iowa 10 years in a row is more realistic than Iowa State winning a national title. I really think that. Like, if you put a gun to my head and you said what's more realistic, what could happen, I would say Iowa State.
I think you'd be crazy to say that it's more realistic for them to win a national title, especially in this. Like, it'd be similar for Iowa. Like, it'd be like, what's more likely to happen?
What percentage of your fandom, or what percentage would you say you're on Iowa State will never win a national title? What percent in your head is that set in stone?
97.
Yeah. Can I get a
you agree with that?
95? I take
I
a
want to ask the
95
chat.
for Iowa.
Iowa has
Really?
a better shot just because they're in the Big Ten and they got more money. Now
Just what I see right now and what this
they
program
need a
looks
change.
like,
They need a
there's a
change.
lot that needs to change.
But
Yeah, and
Iowa
it's gonna
has the
take a lot of time.
resources currently. Iowa has the resources, I think, currently that they could put something together. They just need staff turnover.
Now, here's what we're not saying. We are not saying we're not going to like be at the forefront of cheering and like the believers when the season rolls around. And if our team's 11-1, playing for a conference title and gonna have a chance at a bye, we're not going to be the ones to be like, oh, no chance. I told you one time they'd never do it in my lifetime. That's what we're not saying.
Okay, that's a very good clerical point there.
Yeah, like we're being realistic in the fact that like the way these programs are laid out and the way the structure of the sport's laid out at this moment in time, and then the time it would then take to make the edits to the program to win that title, it makes it pretty tough.
Wasn't it? I think it was Bud Elliott. And there was another podcast that I was listening to. They're talking about what our next topic that we'll talk about. But they're like, what's the odds that I think a Big 12 team wins the national title? And he says 0%. Now, cynically, I think the Big 12's got a better shot than 0%. But I mean, I don't think it's far off with how just recruiting and some of the money stuff that these Big 12 teams are just the current Big 12 landscape is up against, I guess I should say. Who knows? Who knows what the sport will look like in 15 years from now?
Yeah, but I feel like it's been that way for a while, right? Like I think if you think back, even pre-playoff era, were we getting consistent Big 12 names outside of Texas in 09 in that national title game?
It's not. We're not too far removed from like that Oklahoma State team in thanks to Iowa State. That Oklahoma State team in 2000 and Jesus, what was that? 10. That team could have won a national championship. They easily could. They beat Stanford. I think who won that year? Bama. They could have beaten Bama.
That was Bama LSU 9-6.
Yeah, was that like, the
rematch?
Yeah,
I believe.
We're only like 16 years removed from like Texas, Oklahoma, Texas Tech being like 3 of the top 10 teams in college football. Now I get it. I mean, TCU had a shot a couple of years ago. I mean, the Big 12's chance was closer than ever in a 4-team playoff for the BCS era now, but we'll see.
Yeah, and looks like the fan base is on board with you. Jay Bird said he's been a fan for over 40 years, and he just wants a Big 12 title. He doubts that the national title will happen, but that little glimmer of hope is what keeps us coming back.
You're what? You're my LJ Scott extension and an Iowa State loss in 2002 away from Iowa playing for a 4-team playoff and a national title in those 2 years. Like It's not.
You know what keeps me up, Parks? You know what keeps that glimmer of hope is just Iowa State being able to play one of the big dogs in a playoff game. Like the day Iowa State can take the field in a Fiesta Bowl versus so-set SEC team. Yeah, you name it. That's what I live for. That's the goal. It's never to win. It's just to maybe on one given Saturday look at my team and be like, maybe we have a chance to take the big dog because we finally have the opportunity in front of us.
What percentage flip happens? Like you're at 97% that they'll never win it. If they win that game, that they could do it.
If they win.
Let's say they go play Georgia in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
And they win that game.
Oh, of course. I'd break down. I mean, it would go to like 25%.
Would you cry?
If we beat Georgia? Absolutely.
Yeah. We won a national title, yeah.
No. He's asking me if we beat Georgia in the first round of the playoff.
You'd cry for that? I think national title's worthy to cry here.
I think oh God, yeah, dude. If we beat Georgia, you guys have
man.
We let
there's nothing wrong with that.
Kent State went into Jack Trice Stadium in my early childhood and beat us. You think I wouldn't cry if we beat Georgia or Alabama?
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I think you're right. I think the little moments you got to celebrate, and that's not a little moment. And that's a huge moment, especially. I mean, you guys just won the Fiesta Bowl. Did you cry then?
No, I didn't. Everything about. I mean, it was awesome. It was great. But I mean, we all know it. We played an Oregon team that played 7 games that year, and there was nobody in the stands. Like it wasn't even. I don't know. They still earned it, but like it wasn't, you get what I'm
Let's
saying.
leave that conversation where it is. I like where it took us. I got to say, just short chirp on the back end. I would think GA would agree with me, but I do not have I would say I'm at probably 50% that Nebraska will never win one in my lifetime. I just think they have the resources and money to still be competitive. Like they have been after 10 losing seasons. So there's nothing that's shutting off that possibility in my mind.
There's 10 teams in the Big Ten maybe the 8 teams in the Big Ten that I think should think that in the future.